Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Smith.
Caught me with my morning cup of Joe.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
you look like you just woke up or you've been smoking something.
No, no to both of those right now. I haven't had a haircut, man, in some time.
I love it. Blame
Yeah,
it on your hairdo.
yeah,
Well,
and
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. I'm just glad I got some hair, regardless of what it looks like.
and that's a valid point. And I'm just at a stage of life. I don't know what to do with my hair, and it's like screw it, man. So I just brush it back, and
Hope for
there
the
you
best.
go. Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's interesting. I like that thought. Some things you just can't control all the time. Things change.
Things change, brother.
I was bald last year this time.
Yeah, David.
I lost all my hair from that cancer treatment, all
No
that business.
joke.
And now look at me. I got hair, baby. That's right. That's my
Right.
hair. But it's kind of like where we're all at right now. Everything's changing. Haven't heard from us for a while because, well, we were kind of going through some changes. Have you been paying attention to what's happening, huh?
Hmm.
Well, there you go. Now the House, the Senate, the President's office, all controlled by the Republican Party. Congratulations to them. They won outright. I'm assuming it was a fair election, so I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
That to me just breeds more contempt, conspiracy, fear, anxiety, and that's a worthless position to be in. Uh, Anxiety, wow. Yeah. I think most of us as Americans, especially this older type, we've been through a few situations. And guess what? We got through them. Things change. Things
Yeah.
change. And I think I think the only thing that's important at this point for all of us is that we understand a couple of facts. One, the Democrats no longer hold key positions in our government. That's just a fact. That's what's going to be happening. Get over it. Things change. And maybe for the better. I don't know. We'll see. They got big plans, big plans. We'll see. And two, there's nothing we can do about that personally on a personal day to day level, except angst over it, depending upon your position. Of course, I wanted the other side to win. I said that straight up. But I'm accepting of the fact that they didn't. There you go. That's democracy. Democracy. That's what's important here, folks. Democracy.
Hmm.
Some people say, well, we'll see. Well, hey, come on. Give them a chance. Give them a chance and quit crybabying about it already. The only thing that I expect from that administration, regardless of what they do, right or wrong, and some of
Hmm.
it may be right, and some of it may be wrong. But what I do expect, and I think we as Americans, citizens of every type, of every age, deserve one thing: accountability.
Right.
Accountability. What's that mean? What does that mean to you, Craig? Accountability.
Do what you say you're going to do.
All right. Do what you
I
say
just
you're going to do.
straight up.
Straight up. You say you're going to go do something, go do it. Now, we've had our own private situations with that. We won't rehash a million times. Yes, we call it the adventures of Josh and beyond. But anyway, we won't go into that right now. Expectations. Do what you say you're going to do. But what else is it attached to accountability? For me, there's there's something more than just you know do what you say you're going to do. I think there's also being responsible for the outcomes, the consequences, good or bad, and stepping up to the plate of responsibility for those outcomes and say, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe we made a mistake. And here's why I say that. I want to talk about this deportation business. Why? Well, if you haven't noticed, my last name's Espinosa. That's a clue. Yes, I've picked some fruit in my time. And I've been a janitor, and I've been a waiter and a busboy. I've also been a police officer, teacher, worked in law, done a lot of different things, owned businesses. But none of that matters. What I'm trying to get at here is that this deportation thing, there's good and bad to it. I'll be straight up about how I feel. First, I want to discuss all the good about it. I know that sounds a little crazy, right? There is good about it. I don't want murderers, somebody who's been convicted in another country for murder or some criminal act, coming into this country and setting up house to commit more crime. I don't want that. I want them out. Or if they've ever been convicted of a crime here, I want them to serve their sentence and then deported.
Right.
Period. Gone. If they committed murder or something like that, well, whatever consequences a jury finds appropriate. I want those people gone. I want people who've come from other countries who come here with their political unrest and have future terrorist aspirations. And we find them, whether they're Chinese, Arab, Iranian, Canadian, Mexican,
Whatever.
I don't care where they're from. If they have those intentions and we know this, I want them rounded up and gone.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So I'm all for deportation for that. Now, there's a whole lot of other people that don't fit those profiles. And who are they? Well, they're people from all over the world, not just from the southern parts of the Americas, but from China and India and Pakistan, and I mean, wow, everywhere, Australia, everywhere, that come here on work visas and stay, vacation and stay. They sneak into the country that way. They fly in. They don't cross the border through the Rio Grande. They take United Airlines. They fly over here for vacation. They just stay. But they don't look like those people from south of the border do. That's one of the distinctions. So they blend right in. There's plenty of Irish people here who are illegally here, who work here. Yeah, to this day. I know that sounds crazy, right? But do I want them gone? Well, who are they? What are they doing? Are they harming anybody? Are they productive? Are they adding to the gross domestic product? Well, guess what? They do. Millions and millions and millions of dollars in tax revenues that are never accounted towards their future benefits of Social Security, disability, and other things because they can't, because they're not citizens. But yet, they're taxed as if they were. All right, that's one thing right there. So, what else? Well, what do they do? Well, Craig, when was the last time you went to a restaurant and saw the kitchen help being anything other than a minority? Almost never, yeah?
Mm-mm.
So the hospitality industry, waiters, cooks, busboys, back pantry help, all those essential people who provide environments of luxury for the rest of us to enjoy, they'll be gone. Because they're here illegally, folks. They're here illegally. Well, wait a minute. So what about these employers who employ them? I mean, that's why they're here. Because those employers who run those businesses in the very communities in which you live, wonder how many of them are Republican who voted to have them deported. Think about that one, huh? That's what I love. I love poetry for that reason. That's an irony, huh? A paradox. Anyway, think about that. Who's going to go take those jobs? Who's going to go be the maids at the Holiday Inn? Turn those beds. Baggage claim. Who's going to do that work? Gardeners. Oh my gosh, all you folks out there, you love your Jose Jimenez who's gardening that. That boy can mow that lawn, man, cut that hedge. Better learn some new skills. But I'm sure there's a plenty of other people out there who are just waiting to come and become gardeners. Back kitchen help. Maid servants. Yeah?
Farming.
Haven't even talked about that yet. Oh
On and on. On and on.
On and on. Wow. Well, Craig, you grew up in an area that a lot of that going to agriculture. You know how hard that work is.
Well, David, when I was growing up, Huntington Beach, oddly enough, at the time, there's a lot of farmlands. And my dad used to tell me, I was just a young kid, he goes, why is it these GD politicians, every election cycle, say the same thing, round up the illegals and send them back to their country of origin? He goes, it never happens. He goes, real simple. Who's going to pick the crops, to your point, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? He goes, economically, it will bankrupt this country. Now, this goes back a number of years ago. I mean, decades ago. And here we are again. Here we are again, man. So this is not unique to this point in time. We had bean fields back in Huntington Beach, strawberry fields. And my dad used to say, he goes, if you want to know what work is, Craig, go pick some strawberries. He goes, right? He goes, you won't last 1 hour. 1 hour. And he goes, my money would be probably 20 minutes. But he says, yet some politician will get on a soapbox, pound their chest. We need to round them all up. And here we are again, man. And that's what, 60 years ago.
Well, it's like we started this conversation. There's good and there's bad. The good we had the discussion of already. The criminals, all those people who have been convicted in other countries come here, those that commit crimes here, etc. Gone, gone, gone. Those who have political aspirations of terrorism, gone, regardless of where they're from. But now we're talking about the bad part of this whole roundup. Taking those folks who are basically here to live exactly what everybody else is complaining they're unable to achieve because of them. The American dream. Wow. There's that poetry again. I just love that stuff. So how do we reconcile this? Who are we rounding up? Everybody that has the name Espinosa, Garcia, Sanchez, Abed, Mohammed, Ting, Lee. Who are we rounding up? Who and why? Is it just because of their color? Is it just because of their name, their culture, their language? Wow. Or do we have a solid reason? So I think we need to get back to the accountability.
Mm-hmm.
As long as our current administration, our president, and he is our president, like him, love him, whatever, he's our president. And in order for it to be reconciled, because at this point in time, regardless of what everybody wants to believe, his character, whew, to the rest of the world, we voted in a man with a very shady character. I say we because although I didn't vote for him, I am an American and I did vote. And the majority rules. And I am a democratic constitutional person. And the majority rules. And so we voted him in, period. I take accountability and responsibility for what happened and for what didn't happen. And I think that's what this is about. If we can rely on this administration to be responsible, take responsibility, be accountable, do what they say they're going to do, and accept the consequences without lying, without blaming somebody else. Just stand up to the plate and say, I did it. It's my fault.
Right.
If we can have that, then guess what we get back? Respect. We still may think he's a shady guy, but at least we can respect him. He says what he's going to do, and he does it. And when it goes good, he accepts it. When it goes bad, he accepts it. I can accept that type of a leader.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot accept somebody who is in constant denial, who will lie his way out of whatever troubles they make, or somebody who just shoots their mouth off for the sake of hearing themselves boast.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as I'm concerned, round them up. Be prepared, though. Take responsibility. Be accountable for the consequences, the good, the bad, and what may be soon the ugly. I think it's important to note that it's not going to stop with just Mexicans. It's going to start there. That's what I believe. My own opinion. Okay? I believe that's where he's going to start. And it's amazing to me that a man who married a woman who snuck into the country, okay, on a work visa, got here on this make-believe work visa. I don't know what kind of work she was doing. I never heard of her experience.
I don't think she was picking strawberries.
I don't think she was picking strawberries. No. I don't think she was a poll taker for any political party either. May have something to do with a poll, but I don't think it was that kind. I'm not sure. Anyway, point being, she got into the country. I stayed on an expired visa, expired work visa. So at that point, she was an illegal. Illegal. And then she met him. Now, how did she meet him? Oh, figure that one out, huh? Figure that one out. You don't have to take the leap there too far. Remember who we're talking about. Mr. Donald Loves a Woman. Mr. I Can Grab Him by... anyway, that guy. So she hooks up with him, marries him, and then she gets all of her family over here. Starts bringing them over. Just what he keeps talking and bitching about. Wait a minute. His running mate, Vance, didn't he also marry an immigrant? I love it. You see, you got to love poetry, man. If you understand poetry to any small degree, if you appreciate poetry, it's like watching a field of weeds. And then all of a sudden, if you look closer, you see all the flowers in between the weeds. And then you appreciate the contrasting beauty of it all. And the weeds complement the flowers. Yeah. It's kind of like that. So you got to look at the poetry here. This man was bitching, crying about immigration and all these people sneaking in. Marries one. Maybe that's why he's bitching and crying. I don't know. More poetry. More poetry. I've always thought, I believe it or not, I've taught a few college courses, a few colleges. And one of the things I'm always showing or trying to show my students is if you study the ironies of life and you understand and can accept it as a poetic nuance of our humanity, you'll get along a hell of a lot better in life. Okay.
Mhm.
You don't have to take it so bad. Anyway, uh, that's how I feel about that business, about the immigration business, with all that's going on. But let's talk about a couple other things that are happening with all this. One of them, for me, is we got these two guys. Okay, one of them got involved with a company that other people created products for. He took it over and claimed he created it. Okay, that's Tesla. Okay, the other guy uh, was raised with a bunch of money, uh, came over here, got educated here with his parents' bunch of money, never worked a day in his life, and these two guys, Vivek, I believe his name is. These two guys are going to now be in charge of a new agency for the government. Now, here's the tricky thing: it's not a federal agency. You can't just create an agency. That has to be approved by all kinds of things. And these two guys as well. What do they know? Oh, but what's their agency? Efficiency. Wait a minute. Tesla hasn't making any money, is it? Isn't it got all kinds of problems? Everything blowing up on them, and the cars are already looking like they're obsolete. I think the energy used for those battery systems are obsolete already, based on the hydrogen systems that are being already developed, a system based on water. So where do they get off with these 2,000-pound batteries? How's that? Tesla. Anyway, there's no efficiency there. And this other guy, what does he know about efficiency? He's been living in what's the word when you have so much of everything? He couldn't. I don't think that boy's ever seen a coupon in his life. I don't think he ever read the ad for the sales in the newspaper for food ever. I don't think he ever knew there was ads. How are these two guys going to be talking about efficiency in government? They have no governmental background whatsoever. They're just loudmouths. But he's got him in there. He's got him in there. Now, that's his choice. He's our president. Keep that in mind. That's very important. And as such, we must honor our president as long as he is responsible and accountable for these two ducks that he's going to put in that pond. Okay? Let's see what happens with that. But then they're talking about eliminating some fat, like the Department of Education. How is educating the masses fat? Wow. Wait a minute. Let's get back to this immigration thing for a minute. If we kick out all these laborers, all these farm workers, all these people willing to do these other service jobs, we got to replace them with somebody. Now, I'm not going to do it. Greg's not going to do it. No. Well, we're not doing that. None of my family's going to do it. No. We're educated. But somebody has to do it. So how do you get a bunch of people to do it? Well, I got an idea. Let's take away public education, keep it only for private school systems, right? Oh, and let's also, by the way, let's make sure those people who are in any kind of public education have to take military proficiency exams. So we can, get them right out fresh when they're still stupid. 17, 18, gung-ho, balls to the wall. We can send them off to war. But aside from that, if we keep all these people uneducated, defund the Department of Education, and we keep all these people ignorant, they're perfect for hiring in all these service industries. Hey, what an idea! Now, you see, he's got a plan. That's right. He's got a concept of a plan and a plan. And it seems to me like his plan is let's kick out all these laborers, all these other people. Let's get all the people now who think that they want to do something. Let's take away education, keep them stupid. Keep them stupid. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying stupid people work in those industries because they don't. They're hardworking people who come here who haven't had the opportunities of education, who will become educated and will succeed. So, these other folks, however, our regular citizenry, hey, if we don't educate them, they got to do something, right? Being a bellhop's better than nothing. That's right. You make some pretty good tips being a bellhop. I've never done that. It was a tight organization to get into. It's not easy to become a bellhop at a really good hotel because they get paid quite a bit tip money in those bags. But I've worked in major hotels. Ran a assistant manager at the Queequeg Dining Room in Kaanapali, Maui, back in the 70s. That's how old I am. So anyway, the plan is keep them ignorant, then they got to work anywhere. And hey, so there you go. So it seems like this immigration thing and get rid of all the educational system, they seem like they're all tying in somehow. So what's really the plan? Control. Total control. And don't buy into that Bitcoin crap. It's not real. It's not real. It's in your head. You think you own something. You don't own anything. It's like the internet. The internet's not real, folks. It's full of make-believe baloney. I know I'm on it. It's like all these media, right? What's going on with that? Huh? People are talking about, oh, look at they're going to do sue these poor people. Who is it? Meta going to get sued because of monopolization. They don't monopolize anything. Wait a minute, did they buy up a couple of underdogs behind them and they overvalued it and paid them in excess of what the true value was? Why? To suppress communication. But you see, we have some things in this country like the Commerce Clause. We have antitrust legislation. We have mechanisms that don't allow true capitalism to exist. True capitalism would have one king with all the money. Ever play Monopoly as a kid? Come on. As soon as one person owns all the property, all the money, nobody wants to play anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to play. That's what would happen here. If a monopoly was allowed to exist, nobody else would want to play. What's the point? So they have to break it up. Anybody remember AT&T? Pacific Telephone and Telegraph, PT&T? They broke them up, created all these little companies to create more competition. Why should one company in communications have control over everything in the land? Same thing. So, kind of reminds me of our government. Do you know it was made in a manner in which there was three bodies governing and controlling each other so that one didn't get out of hand, so that one body wouldn't get out of hand. But it was meant to be a cooperative, involved process where everybody had a true say-so. Right now, as you know, Senate, the House, and in case you don't understand when we talk about this, Congress and the Senate are different. Congress is made up of representatives of districts from each individual state, depending upon their population volume, how many people are there. That's how many representatives they could have, depending upon the congressional districts. The Senate is an equal amount per state to give equal voice. But the popular opinion must be heard as well. So the House is composed of Congress and the Senate. That's it, those two joint bodies, one overseeing the other. And then the executive branch, the president, he's to oversee those two. Well, I hope you see the problem. We have Mad Max at the helm, okay, followed by not sure. And the Supreme Court, which is basically the Three Stooges, and it looks like we have a couple other guys there from the Marx Brothers, and I don't know. So, I shouldn't make fun. It's my government. It's our government. We have to keep focused and support it. But if I can't make fun of my own government, then I should be fearful of my government. If you cannot make fun of your own government, then your government is not your government. It is the government. We never want to get to a space where it is the government. We always want to be, it is our government. Keep that in mind. Change will come. Change will come. We need to stay fast. We need to stay focused. Mm-hmm. Don't take this stuff personal, even though some of it is. We have to find a way around it. Educate people. Educate people. Those that deserve to stay in this country should. Those that don't should be taken out immediately. I have no problem with that. And yes, we do need stricter control over our borders. I absolutely agree with that. So think very hard about what's going on, folks. But as they say in the 4 agreements, and these 4 agreements I love, don't take it personal. You never know what the other person is going through or what's happening with them. Mm-hmm. Don't take it personal. Use your word in a positive way always towards yourself or others, no matter what. Always do your best, regardless of the situation that you're in. Okay? That's important. And I think with that, Craig, we probably should leave it on a positive note, mm-hmm. As best as possible.
Yes. I think that's very astute of you, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, by the way, if you ever have any questions or comments, you want to tell a joke, it doesn't matter what it is, please contact us. Okay, mm-hmm. You can reach us very easily. Contact us. Let us know if you want to be a guest. You got something to say? Like us, love us, hate us, opposition to us, with us, doesn't matter. Give us a buzz. We'd love to have you on as a guest, and we can all chit chat. Or if you're one of the many out there who just love our movies and you want to come on and talk about our movies, you can do that too. And just to keep it light, Craig, where can they see our movies if they're so inclined?
You can see them Tubi and Prime would be the 2 main outlets, and YouTube as well. Those would be the big 3.
There you go. Awesome so much. We love you guys. Stay American no matter what.
That's right.
That's right. Peace.
Have a great day, all.